Hi Flosstube, this is Jenny McStitcher. It is Sunday, November 3rd, 2019. This is my 8th Flosstube video. So, what do I have today? I have 3 whips. Yeah, 3 whips. 1 finish. Yay! 2 full finishes. Double yay. And a little bit of haul. Nothing too big with the haul. Not like in my last video where I had a whole box full of haul. This is more like a mini haul. Let's call it a mini haul. Anyway, so it's been about a month since I made a video, and it was a busy month. October is crazy. The weekends fly by. It's just, there's something all the time. It's always been that way. I find September, October the busiest times of the year. It's like I've joined new things in September and October and not quit yet. So that keeps me busy. Let's see. I love Halloween. I had a great time on Thursday night with the trick-or-treaters. We live in a great neighborhood for trick-or-treating. It's a very young neighborhood and, well, young right now. The houses are old, but I think they've resold a couple of times in the decades. So right now it's a very young neighborhood and we live very close to a primary school. So the kids just come in like just piles of kids, which is great. The house where I raised my children was a little bit more, the neighborhood wasn't quite as kid oriented, I guess. It seemed like it, but they didn't come to our street. You know, it all depends on who does what around you, but on my street now, it's crazy. So on Halloween, the weather was terrible. It was raining and it was windy. The winds were expected to go up to 100 kilometers an hour, I think. Not that I don't believe they did go that high, but it was enough to make some people think twice about sending their little children out. So some places actually canceled or postponed trick-or-treating. But my city didn't. We just carried on. And the kids were troopers. They didn't care. And I wouldn't have cared when I was their age. They just wanted the candy. They just ran to keep warm, and they had sort of windbreakers over their costumes. It was amazing. We saw some great costumes, and the kids are super polite. I always hear people saying that kids today, but I'm not too worried because I think kids are great. I think kids are polite and courteous, and they make eye contact, and they seemed super grateful and wonderful. I was filled with hope for the future of humanity, all on Halloween. And then, so I got home from work at 5, and we had to really quickly rush to get the pumpkins out because the kids start coming at 5:30, 5:45. So we whipped through the carving. I was going to take my pumpkin. We each had one. There were 3. We were gonna. I was going to make cross-stitch eyes on mine, but I started the first cross-stitch eye and it was taking too long and it wasn't very successful. So I ditched that and I turned the thing around and I gave it back to my daughter and she just made a little face on it. And then we had our trick-or-treaters and I forgot all about the cross-stitch eye, and then at the end of the night we brought everything. We brought the decorations in and the plug-in stuff. We left the pumpkins outside. I thought that they had blown out because it was so windy. And then when I was getting ready for bed, I looked out the front window and there was the cross-stitch eye flaming and looking up at me. It was the scariest thing that ever happened on Halloween. If I can figure out how, I will insert a picture of that right here, because when you've forgotten all about a cross-stitch eye and then it catches fire and stares at you, you know you've been spooked on Halloween. So that was good. Let's see what else. I have been planning, very early stages, planning a retreat. It would be a trial retreat at a camp not too far from where I live. So early stages, but I'm very excited about it. Be maybe for 25 people, 25. I think 28 is the max. So if by any chance you're in hailing distance from Hamilton, Ontario, and you're interested in a retreat in the early spring, please leave me a comment. We can exchange emails and we can talk. So that would be a weekend retreat, April 3rd, 4th, 5th. I'm very excited about it. Nancy A 7378. Some of you might know her from her Instagram. I'll put a link below. We traveled together to the retreat center to have a look, and we were both impressed. So that's a plan. Fingers crossed. Let's see what else. I think that's about it for updates. I'm growing back my hair. I finally looked back at a couple of videos and I realized I like my hair better without bangs. So I don't know why I cut it so short. And I don't know if you care about that sort of detail, but I'm gonna grow it back. So there might be some bobby pins in my future videos while it goes through that stage, but I'm hoping to grow it back long. Yeah. Okay, so back over to cross stitching. Now, I have, as I said, or maybe I didn't say, I do tend to have false starts here. I start talking and then I forget what my point is and I just delete the start. I don't delete whole videos. Maybe I did at the beginning, but now I just delete starts a lot and restart. But I'm going to try not to do that because I'm telling you, then you forget what you've said and what you haven't said. So anyway, 3 whips, 1 finish, 2 full finishes, and a little bit of haul. So I'm gonna get started. Now my first whip is very small, but it's got a million stitches in it already. I'm working on a Haid. So the picture is very small too. I'll hold it up as close as I can. I'm working on decorating the wreath, heaven and earth design. The artist is, I might not say this right, Scott Gustafson. Gustafson cannot be right. Maybe it is. Gustafson. No, it can't be right. Anyway, that guy, I have been working on that, and here it is. I was really hoping for a page finish, but look at all that confetti that I have to do yet. Let me hold this up. So, I'm gonna just show you again where I'm at. So, see that little basket of berries, holly berries, and this sleeve from this elf? That's where I'm at. So you can see her sleeve, you can see a bit of the greenery from the wreath, and you can see the basket of holly berries, and you can see the blue here. That blue is the blue of this guy's sleeve. Ta-da! Well, it's finally starting to look like something. But these things, you know, it takes forever to get the detail. It's funny, you can be stitching along with a Haid. If you've never done a Haid, you're stitching, it doesn't look like anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like you fill in just that little, you just reach that point where it suddenly leaps into the full effect. So it hasn't really done that for me yet, but I think soon, maybe a few more days. So that's the whip I've been working on the most recently. Toss. Okay. I might have forgotten to show you this one the last time I made a video. So if you're following all my videos, it's possible, then you might not have seen the previous months, I'm not sure. But this is the Linens and Threads stitch along, mystery stitch along, so I don't have a picture. It's 2019, and I'm not quite caught up. Just a couple of days ago, like November 1st, a border piece came out, and I haven't started that yet. So here I am. So I put little squirrels at the bottom. That was the most recent part. I'm really happy with the way that looks. This is charcoal linen, 32 count, and the fiber I'm using is Lavender Tea by Silken Colors. You can just kind of see, you can't. In a certain light, you can see a little bit of a lavender hint to that floss. So I'm very happy with that. I'm going to stitch the border. Maybe I'll start that tonight even. the border's very plain. It's maybe an inch out and it's just a line all the way around the whole thing. And then I think the next part, the one that comes out on December 1st, will probably be a thick, I would think, scrolly curly part of a border. I don't think it could be another line, although what I know about design doesn't add up to much, so you never know. Okay, so I'm working on another of the Songbird series by Cottage Garden. This one is Merry and Bright. I love this one. So I started this one during Stitch Mania. I worked on the bird. I think it was one of those great Stitch Mania days where I got the whole bird done, or close to it. I think it was one of those rare weekendy type days where I managed to stitch from the minute my eyes popped open in the morning until the wee hours. So I stitched for another couple of days, I think, and got this far. So I ran out of a bright green, I think it was called monkey grass. So I put it away. But that's where I'm at. I think this one's going to be great. It was called for stitching on this sort of bluey green color. But I decided to use this. This might be parchment, linen, Zweigart. Maybe. So I'm very happy with that one. And that's my second Christmas piece that I'm showing you. So I guess I'm in a Christmas mood. I am a bit of a Christmas person, so that's not that surprising. Okay, so Merry and Bright. And that's it for whips for the last few weeks. Now, I showed everybody Simplicity. This is my finish. I finished this one. This is the Songbird Garden Series number 9. There is beauty in simplicity. This one took a lot longer than I thought it would. It just seemed like every time I was nearly done, I would look back at the pattern and see another daisy that needed stitching. There's probably still more that I need stitching, but I'm not going to look at it too closely because I feel done with it. It took forever. But I'm happy with it. Ta-da! So there it is. I did press that, but it's already wrinkled. So there is beauty in simplicity. I'm just having a look to see if I failed to fill anything in. I don't think so. I think it is finished. I really like that one. It was called for like a grayer fabric, which I think makes the shading around the daisies make more sense. And then I was worried that my gray around the daisies would be too gray. Like maybe I should have chosen a darker version of this. But in the end, I don't change colors very much or very well, so I just left it as it was. So there's Simplicity, done and dusted. Now here's another little bit of a whip. I don't know if you could call it a whip, but I had the pleasure of attending my cross stitch group. We meet every Tuesday, and this past week, Barbara, whom some of you may know on Instagram, I will put her Instagram below. She came out and taught everybody in the group how to do the nun stitch so that we could make name tags. The reason we're making name tags is because we were challenged to do so by the Hamilton Stitch-In group, which is coming up in later in the month. So everybody's going to make a name tag so we can get to know each other better, easier. So Barbara taught us how to do the nun stitch. I'd never even heard of it. So there's my nun stitch. I'm going to fill it in with my name and maybe like a little bit of red work. I might take the alphabet from, I don't even know. I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to do inside of there yet. But it's an edging stitch, I think we called it. So that when we go on Tuesday, we're going to cut around it and it'll just give a little bit of... So apparently somebody walked by the house. Oh, that's terrible. Hopefully she'll stop. Nope. No, somebody might be pulling up. That's even worse. If they dare to turn around in our driveway, it's all hell will break loose. Anyway, so that's kind of a cool binding stitch. Let's call it a binding stitch. Kind of looks like a blanket stitch, but it takes a little bit of time because you do a single strand, but then you go over every stitch twice, and they're all very tiny. So it did take a little while, maybe an hour or more to stitch that. So after I finish the name tag part, like put my name in there and maybe draw or do a little design, I will show it to you again. I don't know how I'm going to put it together as a name tag yet. Okay, so simplicity pattern. Now my haul. So I ordered from Traditional Stitches in Calgary a piece of cedar plank linen by Linens and Threads. And the reason I did that was so that I could stitch B is for Bunny by La Di Da. I showed this to you a couple of videos ago. This was my plan. This was a new start plan. So see that color there? It's kind of like a very light sort of dusty mauve color. And when I received the piece, I found it just I found it very beautiful and it feels great, but it's a tiny bit darker than I think the picture shows it to be. I mean, not a ton darker, but a little bit darker. Darker to the point where the floss that's called for, it's just DMC floss. But when I did the floss toss, I found I wasn't sure if I liked how it looked on this fabric. Even though I like the fabric and I like the floss. So here's my floss. That's a messy floss toss. That's the messiest floss toss ever. Let me put it on this. So now, I don't know if I'm going to do that on there. I'm sure I can find something else. Actually, it doesn't look bad, does it? Things always look brighter a little bit on my iPad than they do through my eyes. But anyway, I did notice that I had a piece of stone gray, which is just a factory dye Zweigart, and I realized it doesn't look too different from that cedar plank. And I thought the colors for B is for Bunny looked even better on that one. But again, it's like I'm thinking different when I'm here recording because now maybe I like the called for better. It's like magic. Maybe I like that better. Well, maybe I'll just have to do it twice or do some trial stitches to check. This piece is bigger anyway. I could probably do something else, and the other one is cut right for this piece, so it would be good if I could just do that. Anyway, so I've been busy also doing some finishing. Now, last time I recorded, I showed you Yule Queen. So this is a primitive hair piece that I picked up from the primitive hair herself, from Isabella, the designer, at a retreat that I went to a couple of years ago. It was languishing and I didn't stitch it, and I didn't start it at all until Stitch Mania. And that was the beauty of Stitch Mania. It motivated me for sure to dig out all those charts that I hadn't been really making any firm plans with. And so now it is fully finished. Ta-da! So there it is. Now I showed you this frame that that we found at a flea market and cut it to size and framed up Yule Queen. Now, okay, so how I framed this was, or how I finished it was that I picked up a piece of foam core. I picked up a huge piece and I've been cutting and cutting and cutting it down to size. I found the center, and I found the center of the foam core, and then I found the center of the pattern, and I popped it right through the center, and then I stretched it over and pinned it in place. I've done both pinning and lacing now, and I prefer the pinning. I find it easier. I found with the lacing, I did see some tutorials, and I tried it myself, and I found that it was the making the knots so that they kind of lock into place was challenging for me. And then I found that as I was pulling it tight, it was stretching the fabric so that the hole was really big. And I didn't really like doing it very much. I liked the way it looked at the back, and I liked the way it was adjustable. But I guess in a way it's adjustable too if you pin it. Now the only thing is if I'd thought about it, I might have found the center and then lowered it a little bit so that Yule Queen was closer to the bottom of the frame. But I was pretty happy with how even that is. If you look at the bottom, it kind of goes straight across a fabric thread, and at the top too. So it did go well. Again, another Christmas piece, so I'm pretty Christmassy. Now, I also fully finished the first finish in the Songbird series. So this isn't number 1, this is Bliss, and it's the first one I finished. Again, I found this frame at a flea market and cut it down to size. I think I love it. Okay, there's Bliss. Now, the colors are so vibrant. I think the colors are so vibrant because I'm stitching these 2 threads over 2 on those 2 strands over 2 threads on 36 count. So they're very lush. But you know what? Who am I kidding? I like that. I mean, more color is better to me. I also like the look of 1 strand over 2. But with these, because I started them this way, that's how they're going to go. And they're going to cost me a fortune because I'm using the weeks. And every time I turn around, I need another monkey grass or grits or schneckly. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce that either. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And then, because we were on a roll, I decided to go ahead and get another frame ready and the foam core ready to frame the next Songbird series finish. And which one I do, I'm not sure yet. I've now finished 3 of them. So I have Simplicity that I just showed you, but I thought Simplicity might look better with a black or white frame rather than a wood one. But I do really like the way this frame looks. And it's cut to size. They're all identical sized. So I can do whatever with this one. I do have I forget the one that I have finished. I forget what it's called, but it would go in here nicely. So that'll be a surprise for my next video. Let's see, what else do I have to show you? Okay, so also too, I have the Yule Queen pattern, and I wanted to pass this along now that I've fully finished it. Now I do want to warn you before you sign up for this. I obviously won't show you the chart, but I do stitch from the chart, so you can see there's it's not pristine. It's not bad. It's not like I write phone numbers in the margin, or I don't highlight it. I don't do anything and it's not worn out on the seam, but it's not perfect. It's maybe a little tiny bit dog-eared. But I do want to give that to somebody who might be interested in stitching it. And because it's coming up to the festive season, I thought this would be timely. So I haven't done anything like this yet. I haven't done a giveaway, but I think the thing is, I also haven't participated in any giveaways, but I have seen people introduce them. So please comment something about a queen, it's called Yule Queen. So just say queen somewhere in the comment, and then I will enter you. I will draw for this, let's say like November 20th. Yeah, about November 20th. And then that way you'll get it before December if I mail it out right away. And when I mail it out, I'll probably put a couple of little extras in there too. So that's Yule Queen by Primitive Hair. So good luck. And again, a comment with just queen somewhere in it, and don't say giveaway. I don't even know why don't say giveaway, but don't say giveaway. If I've been looking up a lot, it's because I switched tablets, and my other one I was supposed to look at the top to be looking right at people's eye, and with this one it's on the side. So if that's like weird, I'm sorry. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh yeah. So when I went for my, I told you I had a little bit of a haul. So the fabric I bought from 123 Stitch. I picked up the last in the Songbird series, which I thought was very, very beautiful. And I'm just sorry about the crinkling. I'm going to take it out of the package because I think we're pretty glary in here. This one's called Heartful of Gratitude. And I love the shelf. And I really love the texture of that bird. And the bird is a dark-eyed junco. Junco? My pronunciation tonight, it's leaving a little to be desired. Also, because I was doing a mail away, I picked up a few weeks colors, just the ones that I was missing from my Songbird series, because like I said, it does go crazy. When I picked these up at Gita's, which is my local shop, they were doing the twisting. They were twisting them all up. It looked like so much fun. And yeah, it looked like fun. And so one of the ladies, I'm not even going to tell you what she did with them. It was so rude, but it was hilarious. They're so funny in there. Okay, she put them on her, like she did one of these, like she's a stripper or something. It was hilarious. That was a fun day. And so on my last video too, I talked about starting Christmas garden. And I had suggested if anybody wanted to stitch along with me to send me a message, and a couple people did. I haven't started it yet though, because I still 100% haven't decided on the colors. The colors that were called for, not all of them were in stock, so I was gonna have to do at least one substitution anyway. So then I thought, oh, I'll just pick my own colors. And now I have, like, seriously, I've overwhelmed myself. Like, look at all the different reds I'm sort of thinking about. This is just a fraction of them. I was thinking of doing a DMC, and these are some of my special reds. That one's too pink. This one's too red. This one's too burgundy. You know what I mean? But I am going to start this very soon. Maybe within the next week or two, if I could just nail down the colors. You know what's probably going to happen? I'm probably going to wind up going back to the needlework store, buying the called for colors now that they're back up in their stock, and not choosing my own colors, because I really admire people who can choose their own colors. When I do it, I fill myself up with self-doubt. I don't like how they turn out looking. But I have no problem picking my own fabric. For some reason, that speaks to me. And I feel like I can do that. But the colors of the floss, hats off to the designers, because they always look so good, and mine just don't. So I think that's about all. I'm really looking forward to getting the primitive hair pattern out to somebody. I think this is a pass the stash thing. So good luck. And I'm going to use one of those random number generator things. I'm going to probably sign off now because I'm losing a little bit of the natural light. It gets dark earlier now. We changed the clocks today. Or does that mean we will be light long? I don't even know. I don't know if that means it's going to get dark sooner or later. But I know I woke up early because the dogs did not get the memo about the time change. They probably won't get the memo by tomorrow either. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for thanks for your attention, and good luck, all my queens. I hope that I get lots of people. I mean, if I don't, I don't. But this was a beautiful chart. It stitched up fast, the Yule Queen, and I'd love to see somebody else stitch it. I'd love to see what colors you choose and how it turns out. Okay, so I hope all is well, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye now.